not stand. Whoa. You come to me now. I don't want to hear nothing. All you go so and leave me alone, man. I don't want to hear all you. Boy, I don't want. For the year 2001, should I compose a nation-building song or just blaze them politicians? But when I hear Pan, they get 19 seats and he run and give a speech of victory, I tell myself something wrong, so I compose this song for kinky-head people like me, because I don't understand what's really happening. For years, me crooks and panther was busting, we live a string. When I honestly believe the message was loud and clear, but the results from the elections proved to me stick breaking black man air. We don't hear, so don't expect me to jam your prime minister. No, don't tell me. I stopped drinking bush tea for your fever. Cause you here do it once, but you did it twice.
A pleasant good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, and how are we doing this afternoon?
For us in front of Christ. So if you notice your little daughter bringing home
it is another wonderful day in Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martinique.
Send she to a school inside the beaton. And when she bring home the baby father, the man is a tyrant just like Panday. Please don't stop me in the road to complain, cause I have nothing to say.
Feel free right now to like and share. Tag somebody right now.
To complain.
It is the 17th day of October 2023. And it's 2 minutes past the hour of 6. In Greenwich Mean Time, it is 18:02 hours.
I try my best to put sense in black man head. The consequence I was not afraid. But when I seek it and Daphne on
Welcome to the persons on my YouTube page, persons on my Facebook page.
98, I got chastised when I sing my song. But if I did like game, I would have take out she name and deceitfully win me crown. UNC corrupt like hell, but Satmaraj wouldn't say so. As black man open me mouth, he find that man should go. To these negative response from the black man, I'm not surprised, because I've come to one conclusion: to the black man is his own demise. Here went. So don't tell me nothing about the EBC. No, don't tell me, because I saw some of you vote for UNC. No, don't tell me.
It was another hot day in Grenada, man. I hope you guys are staying hydrated.
The man tell your family.
I pray that your family and friends are alright, right?
As a criminal on the run.
So as we get ready to get into our conversation, in the voice
and civil servants can't get
of Michael Osuna singing Subrike, Sugar Aloes. This one name a government you deserve.
My little knowledge now I must preserve. You get a government to deserve. To resort to protest now your guts.
Much of all you could relate.
Government to deserve. Ding the day. Ding
welcome to the persons out there in the diaspora, man. Especially my friends out there in the United States of America. The United Kingdom.
It's from the public I get my lyrics.
You just give me inspiration. You just give me the strength and courage to slaughter them politicians. So when I see you supporting Pandy and condoning all that is wrong, it's like giving me bread and a full glass of milk, then you turn around and kick it down. Pandy call businessmen parasitic oligarchies. But to the Jacko and Andupi easy good buddies. What excuse you could have to put him back in power? If you ask Errol MacLeod, he'll tell you that man was done a fuck tongue cobra. Yes, sir.
That man was done a fuck tongue cobra. Yes, sir. So don't tell me Caroni going through hell.
No, don't tell me.
I hear what the man can drink, he planning to sell.
I say no, don't tell me.
Don't tell me nothing about the Incogen deal.
No, they never gave a kong for the sheep load of rice they steal.
But if you notice, Carlos have a brand new Beamer. And he delayed the process till he turn a minister. And you hear he get millions in cutbacks from the Miss Universe show as a gift. Please don't stop me and ask me to confirm, because I'm pleading the fifth. My little kakada, I'll try to reserve.
You get a government you deserve.
Ask Manning how much money he left reserve. You get a government you deserve.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to jump into our conversation for this evening. I know you were enjoying the music right there. I know some of you guys must have been enjoying the music. Somebody asked if it's me that write that. When you know good vintage calypso music from persons like Sugar Alus and Crew and the others, then I know for a fact you know music, all right? And I am one person who was very intrigued about listening to music, be it old school or new school. However, I favor mostly the old school kind of music, right? Those old reggae, those old calypso, I enjoy that much more. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we get ready to jump into a conversation today. I know we have had a wonderful weekend. I am seeing most persons in whom that I regularly see. So I know for a fact that God would have kept you guys to have been here to another event, to another start of another week. God's blessings to you and your entire family. I want to say good evening to each and every one of you guys. Now, however, I want to start today's session, and again, so for some reason, I didn't do the right thing. No, you're tuned in to the class in session, the classroom. Yours truly, Royalty James. I am here, and I know this is no strange conversation. You all are used to hearing that every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. So you know who the host is, all right? But out of formality, sometimes you want to do things the proper way, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start not as per regular, but I just want to give some tips as we head into the Christmas season, right? Something that has really raised its head in the past few weeks, and with persons who may have a better financial scope heading towards the end of the year, I want to say, people, you need to be extremely careful with the online scamming that is happening throughout the length and breadth of this world. I can't say just Grenada or just the Caribbean. It is happening. I recently had to basically jump in front of somebody this week, right? They actually had in their position the $1,300 to send it to a specific code or number, right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, we need to be extra careful. Your online conversation, do all your probing in a conversation, right? Try, even if you have to send a voice note, let them be as specific as possible, because sometimes there are persons who are genuine. They are genuine persons. Sometimes there are persons that are actually wanting to do something, but you see, with the level of reluctance, sometimes you just don't get it done on the basis that this person is being extremely cautious, right? So we need to be extra careful. I know we're careful already, but we need to be extra careful, right? You just seeing spontaneous contact numbers that are popping up on your phones. You're giving away your identity. Again, people, be careful in the information and what you're fooling out online. There is identity theft, right? Persons are fooling out things and you're not specifying as to what it is that you're fooling out. They're telling you that you're winning whatever. As we see over the weekend, we had Digicel, persons was sending things about Digicel and government subsidiary, and persons were sending it out, right? We need to be careful. We know definitely that there are many of us that we're our backs against the wall financially. We know that they're harsh days, right? But the little that we earn, people, we need to be careful with it, right? We need to understand what makes sense on an online conversation. How can you want to send me something, or you want me to join something, or win something, and you want me to send money to collect it? You understand these things? They're not making sense if you put two and two together, right? So we need to be extra careful, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into the Christmas season, as it relates to online conversation and online scamming, right? We know that we have an alleged name in Grenada as it relates to somebody who gets involved in that. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to start pointing fingers at the person, but we want to be careful ourselves. And that is what is important. There is a lot of scammers up there. Lots of scamming. Every little thing, you win a cell phone, you see things popping up on your screen. Touch 3 boxes, you see things, you win a green card. People, you can't continue to send your monies and waste your monies on things that you have absolutely no idea what you want. What did I take part in? Ask yourself that. What did I take part in? What did I sign up for? That I win $1 million, $1 million US, right? You win a new iPhone, but to get the iPhone, you have to send $500 US or a gift card or so on and so forth. People, the terminology for this is phishing. The technological term for it is called phishing. So that is what the scammers do. They fish, and they attempt to do a lot of things. They're calling you. Some of them are brave enough to call you. Some of them are brave enough to ask you for your cell phone number. People, we need to be extra careful as it relates to that. And you don't want to have worked all year, and when you reach to the end of the year, the boss or some family member decide they're going to send you a $600-700 or more, and then because of you wanting more, some scammer would come up and say something about you will go collect something in DHL, or you know them sort of way. So you got to be extra careful. All right, we want to say happy belated birthday to Mammy Mitchell, the mother of our dear political leader and 22-year-old Prime Minister of Grenada, Carrick-on-Pidgum. I think I want to stay away from calling him the opposition leader. That'll suit the gentleman, right? So his mom on Monday would have celebrated 101 years, people. This is a milestone. And you can see Miss Mitchell still looking as if she can go another 101 again, right? This is God's blessings, and we want to outpour our love and gratitude to her, especially on being such a wonderful son, right? You gave us a stalwart, you gave us a hero here in Grenada that come from your womb, and you're here, and you have been here to see his legacy. And I don't think it is going to end after he leaves politics. His natural ability to love and help people will continue, I know definitely, long after his reign into the political field. All right, we want to say a special good afternoon to our dear political leader, and a warm, heartfelt happy belated birthday to Mammy Mitchell. All right. Over the weekend, we heard of another shooting incident that took place somewhere in the south of the island, and we're jumping into the evening's conversation that is of relevance. You understand me? right? I want to big up all constituency. Jennifer Limard, she's from St. George's Northwest. She's present. I hope I get the surname right. So, Miss Jennifer, good afternoon to you, right? And we want to say good afternoon to the persons out there in St. George's Northwest. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we heard about another shooting incident that would have happened over the weekend, right? I believe at this stage that we are into our 10th month, I believe we this year would have surpassed every other year as it relates to gun-related offenses, right? We have heard of his fatalities. We have heard of his injuries. We have heard of situations where it was just robbing with violence, right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, it calls for a little extra now careful in your own person, right? Over the Christmas season, if it was so during the year, God forbid we see a spike at the end of the year, because I mean we have heard of so many little incidents. Even I believe SOG supermarket this week or maybe this morning or so, and I am ignorant as it relates to factual information, but however we have heard of an incident that involves SOG supermarket where someone would have went in there, and I think they went with the safe or so on and so forth. I want to believe that it is information that has been publicized. So in terms of facts, I do not have same. But however, ladies and gentlemen, what baffles me most, and for the last quarter, because we had first quarter and second quarter, and so for the last quarter, we heard no assessment from the Royal Grenada Police Force concerning our crime state. And that, for me, ladies and gentlemen, is baffling, because we have had now another level of criminal practices in that of our young people, and more so it involves more of causing harm incidents or physical offenses are now prevalent among our young children, especially school children. And I believe that, you know, we need to know. I mean, we need to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. Public information that concerns the public is on a need-to-know basis. Not maybe I feel I should give it this time around and I feel I shouldn't. You understand me? Precautions need to be taken. We can't wait for something to happen and then we want to put measures in place so that it does not happen again. So I think the Royal Grenada Police Force, you owe us, I think you owe us a second quarter briefing as it relates to our crime state, right? You really owe us some information, because we passed last month, right? And we're hearing nothing, right? I know definitely that the Prime Minister would have mentioned in his press conference when he would have speak as it relates to the gun-related offenses sometime earlier up in the second quarter. He spoke as it relates to, you know, the heightening of police presence. And let me say this, people. Now, we have inculcated a practice over the years in Grenada that, you know, it has now brought to the fact that even on social media, you're seeing it, where when police officers are on traffic check duties or spot searches, we're seeing persons making it a media conversation or going on social media, and police officers checking in perseverance, police officers checking X or Y place. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say to you, this has more of a disadvantage than an advantage. Now, the police officers on their duties at the time might be able to confiscate an item, be it a cutlass, be it a gun, whatever, that might well have been intended to cause harm to a family member, a friend of yours. We need to stop that practice, ladies and gentlemen, that the police is checking there and the police is checking there. This is more of a disadvantage, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is giving information, because the criminals are on social media too, you know. The persons that are wanting to commit the offenses, they too are on social media. And so they are getting the information. Don't believe it is just for an individual who you just want them to know. Because you have group chats and so on where persons are posting their traffic check in an XY place. No, the officers was down on just around the post office in Grandlands the other night, and I'm coming down on a bus. And an individual had to basically speed up from the police and could have caused damage to other persons using the road at the time. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we need to be precautious. We need to be very cautious, and not precautious, cautious, for want of a better word. We need to be cautious as it relates to the information. Sometimes when we give it out, we think that the intent might be good. We think that, hey, we just want our friend to know that he had traffic check going on X or Y place. But as I said, at the same time, the criminals are on, and they're viewing in the same manner. All right? So we're really asking, we're pleading to the organ of the police force at this stage that you give us some insights, some information, ladies and gentlemen, surrounding the conversation of what is the state of our present criminal status in Grenada. Because we have seen the other half, or the second half, because remember, just around May or so, when the ACP spoke, he mentioned that about a 2% drop or so on and so forth. So let us know the status now. And it's important because we're getting into what I know the police deems as the Yuletide season, where you may possibly see a heightened crime or criminal activities. I want to say pleasant good evening, special evening, and you know I would pause for this moment. Special good evening to my wonderful wife. I'm seeing that she's saying good night there. Good night, my love. I hope everything is all right. Your husband will be home shortly. I need to stop for those things. Sometimes you need to break for those things at them. You need to, you know. All right. So I want to say good evening to my wonderful wife. She just came on. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am something that has been intriguing me within the recent days is really has been a public conversation. Is the conversation concerning the housing authority and what is geared to the real purpose of it. Now, let me say this. I have listened different forums and I have listened to different aspects of that conversation. And in my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't seem that everybody is on the same page when it comes to this. I believe that the term low income has gone out the door in its totality. I believe that the conversation of low income has gone out the door. And when I say that, let me tell you why I say this. And it was evident today. Let me play this.
Is that when you talk and give the impression that the house was meant for poor people and so on, you must have the evidence to support what you are saying. There is absolutely no indication that these housing units would have been able to afford it, whether or not we say we set up the payment plan or not, by low and in some instances no income people. However, there is need, Mr. Speaker, for different categories. If you say phase 1 was for low income, fine. Phase 2 is not for low income, but it's for income where you can manage. And in this instance, it's going to help bolster your equity base. Your thing is that when you talk.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the voice of the Minister of Youth, Mr. Ron Redhead. Now, if you listen to what he said, you're basically contradicting the whole aspect of it. Because, listen to me, there is documentation that it says Chinese government provided grants worth $11.2 million US for phase 1 of the government low-income houses project. Now, the minister stands in the House of Parliament and he said, where's the evidence? Where is the evidence of this? Now, if you go and you look under the whole parliament and the whole parliament conversation, it goes on to say it is linked to project ID 39861, 63823, 63824, 2526, 39677, 63827, and 54890. These are the projects, the project descriptions as it relates to the low income houses in its initial stage. So to make the statement that there is no evidence, and you see, the conversation normally goes vague because you are not doing your research. You are not bent on finding out. You're simply bent on making, or I always say, defacing the project in its entirety. So the intent really is to deface the project, because you can't make this statement here. You can't make this statement
and give the impression that the house was meant for poor people and so on. You must have the evidence to support.
No. How isn't there evidence to support this when it took myself just a few minutes to get that the Chinese government provided grants worth $11.2 for phase 1 of the Grenada Low Income Houses project, and they give you the link and the numbers. So you're basically vague on the statement in its entirety, because you can't say that there is no evidence. Because if you go back to the House of Parliament and you go back to documentation throughout the government, you would see that it was specified that $11.2 million was given in grant for the purpose of low income houses. No, my thing is that, and you see, you have to understand how you're speaking when you're speaking to the public. Because if you now want to say the second phase does not include that, come out and say it. But I believe the Prime Minister did when he did so in Florida.
Is another major issue. We are committed to building, and when I say we, it doesn't mean the government has to build it, but we have to facilitate that to ensure it happens. At least 500 Grenadian homes to help with the housing situation in Grenada. Again, we view the housing as an area that the diaspora, particularly from an investment perspective, can get involved in. Because we know many of you who want to come home don't want to deal with the challenges of having to buy the land yourself, deal with the lawyers, deal with the banks, deal with the contractors.
No, I'm pausing it there. No, this is contradictory. This is contradicting. No, you're saying to them that there is an issue in Grenada. There is an issue in Grenada when it comes to housing. And so you want Grenadians that are leaving home here to be accommodated in terms of housing and in terms of homes. But in the same breath, you're telling people in the diaspora that, hey, don't worry, the housing would be for the purpose thereof, that if you come to Grenada or you do it overseas, no, you can purchase or buy a house here in Grenada and come here without any hassle. So you're contradicting. There is a problem. But there is a problem that are being faced by persons residing in Grenada. So why open the avenue to persons in the diaspora to say, hey, we want to make it easier for even all you? But when you put the two and two together, Grenadians are going through the same hassle. Because if you have to, in terms of home ownership, you would have to go to the bank, you would have to go to the lawyers, and so on and so forth. Right? The problem here is that sometimes financially, many of us are not financially equipped to sometimes suffice what the banking institution, the financial institutions that are asking for. And so, hence the reason for the low income houses. So at the end of the day, when you open the avenue to an individual who can't afford, to those opposed who could afford, who is going to get the preference? Because $1 to an American spending in Grenada is $2.71. $1 in Grenada being spent by a Grenadian, it's $1. So when an individual that is in the United States can say, well, listen to me, you know what? I am working for $1,500. I have to pay back the bank, let's say, $600. This is $200 that comes from their salary. $200 if you're dealing with the dollar as is. So because when you send it to Grenada, it comes up to about 6 something. to 220, something, to a Grenadian who owns the same amount and goes to the bank would know what to pay $700 and $500 or more. Because a dollar is a dollar. So who owns a house faster? Many persons, and listen to me, based on what the dear brother would have said, and what the minister would have said there, clearly shows you. It clearly shows you what it is. The intent now is that, hey, we done with these people about who they can afford and low income. We done, as far as I see, government done with that. Low income what? Man, who could buy the house? Let them buy the house. This is what it is being geared at now. This is what you're seeing now. Because if the Prime Minister is opening it up to the diaspora, and then the minister could stand in the House of Parliament and say, hey, well, if the first phase was low income, then the second phase will have to be that. We could change the second phase. But then here in Grenada, persons who already has ownership, hear what is happening with them.
We have already issued letters for people to pay. We would continue to issue another letter, and then we go to the lawyer. And if it has to end up to the courts, we would do, and we will follow the action of the court, from garnished wages to whatever the courts say. But we will go after the low-income persons.
So this is not evidential, ladies and gentlemen, enough. That the intention here no more lies on the people that owns an average or low income. This has gone out the door. So the few persons who may have the intention that owns an average salary or low income, because at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, what is the persons that are being contacted? The persons that are being contacted at present, right, are persons like teachers and police officers. Persons whom I know definitely can walk into an institution and get a loan much faster than a cook at an institution, a cleaner, a carpenter, or maybe somebody with a little construction, somebody that might be, they had a little shop. The bank would not look at a shopkeeper, even if you have a little business, a little shop, maybe your average monthly income when you do your little selling is a little bit over $800, as opposed to a police officer whose salary goes sometime into $2,000, $3,000. A police officer who may be able to still get a loan up to about $100,000 and afford to pay it back by buying house and land and bill. So who at this stage? Come out and say it. Come out and say it. I mean, stop brambling it at this stage. The low-income houses and the low-income people are no more concerned to this administration. This is not what they view. This is not their concern. This is not what they're looking for. They're looking for the persons who can afford it. And as he said, if first phase was for low-income houses, second phase is not for that. Not my what. I want to, at the end of the day, I just want all you to do say, Prince say. It's not me. The dear minister said it.
Is that when you talk and give the impression
right,
that the house was meant for poor people and so on, you must have the evidence to support what you are saying. There is absolutely no indication that these housing units would have been able to afford it, whether or not we say we set up the payment plan or not, by low and in some instances no income people.
So you're saying that they couldn't, no matter what you do, no matter how you set it up, they can't afford it. I mean, so you're basically saying, no matter what we do, there is nothing. Our hands were tied. Our hands are tied. Listen to me.
And in some instances, no income people. However, there is need, Mr. Speaker, for different categories. If you say phase 1 was for low income, fine. Phase 2 is not for low income.
And the minister have to bring it out. The minister have to bring it out. I mean, there we have it now. It's not for them. Not for them. Not for them. So the intent at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, that a grant has been given to Grenada Carriacou PD Martinique on the generosity of the people of the Republic of China. And so they say, listen to me, we're giving you that. This is a gift. And so this gift is granted to basically aid in your housing institutes. Give it to persons who, they really can't afford it. They're not poor. They're not on poverty line. But still, it is flexible for them to get it. A gift. And so now, and a new administration comes in and says to me, listen to me, that has nothing to do with you guys. Tell them,
Phase 2 is not for low income.
Thank you.
But it's for income where you can manage.
So it's for income where you can manage. What does that mean? What is income that you can manage? What is income that you can manage? my bad, somebody just popped up a message. Right? What is income that you can manage? So you have now set aside the persons. And so you're saying that phase 2 is for that purpose. But yet still, for phase 1 has a personal attack on them now.
We have already issued letters for people to pay. We would continue to issue another letter, and then we go to the lawyer. And if it has to end up to the courts, we would do, and we will follow the action of the court, from garnished wages to whatever the courts say.
So you're moving on to phase 2, which is average, right? And the persons that could afford, and we're not tackling first phase because and listen to me, and don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. The persons who are delinquent in payment needs to pay. Let me get that out there. The persons who are delinquent in payment as it relates to phase 1 of the project is expected to pay. I am not here jumping on any notion that persons should not pay. You have gone to the housing authority, you made the commitment to make a payment, and so that payment must be done. My thing about this is this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see the purpose of the publicity in terms of that information being disseminated. Because there are persons owing cooperative bank. There are persons owing financial institutions. You don't see them on any program saying, well, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. My government is up on this. Having interviews about this as to the percentage and the places and the percentage that are owned by different places. This is irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, there is a simple thing called protocol. Protocol. And I'm saying to you, if government is deciding to take the action, fine. My thing is, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of the publicity? At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you know who is owing. You know who has money for government. You simply send them a letter. They're reluctant to do what has to be done. You go on further. Simple. I'm not saying that government should not take a stance as it relates to money's owing. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, whenever it happens in that nature, what I expect is that, okay, a list is sent out, the persons who are owing. You said the last time you're asking persons to come in. Fine. You're asking persons to report to HAG. Fine. You don't see the persons come, you send a letter to them. The letter still not answered, you send your legal counsel documentation. and you take it from there. My concern is, what is the purpose of its publicity? Because all what you're doing is not helping. What you think coming to the public and saying it out loud is going to help? So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to, at the end of the day, take a lot of things into consideration. One of it is that government's intention for the second phase, and as I said, it was not my words. It was not my words. Our minister read it, and you see, and tomorrow's conversation, and I plan to specify tomorrow. I need to go. Tomorrow I decide to go into a little bit more specificity as it relates to the descriptives of some ministerial position, because it baffles me still as to why the Minister of Youth is even addressing this housing issue. Right? It is to me that anybody get a chance to have a little play, they get a little play. Right? And I want to put it out there before I forget. I want to believe, and I don't know if it happens with the National Democratic Congress Constitution, and maybe I would have to go to the Constitution a little bit or in depth. But what I have gone to know of the practice within the state of Grenada is that your deputy political leader automatically takes the position as deputy prime minister. It came to my mind the last time, and I said to myself, but most of the times what happens, right, is that your deputy political leader, the person owning the most votes after the political leader, if they form the government, then that individual becomes automatically the deputy prime minister when he leaves the state. But then again, transformation. Transformation is at its full gear. All right? But I'm starting with this, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to just, and I'm going to start today with that conversation on the dear Minister of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. Now, I went in depth to what is expected of him. Now, first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, the ministerial description speaks to when, let's say, Russia gives us a grant or a loan to build a bridge to Carriacou. And so it is given to works most of the times, whatever ministerial position that is given, right? The job of this ministry, which is mobilization, implementation, and transformation, normally takes ownership in terms of ensuring that this specific project or projects starts in, how should I put it, in the time intended to be started. So let's take it to mean that this loan has been given or this grant has been given to start a project in November. His role and function there and then is to ensure that he be the mediator between the grant or the loan given and our government here. Funny enough, I believe that this dear minister has been more so commencing projects more than ensuring that they're implemented. We see so many things that he's doing that carries the position of the Minister of Works and Communication, more or less. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I go back to the word incompetent, not following protocol, and not understanding positions. Because at the end of the day, the conversation addressed today by Brother Ron Redhead, to me, and in my thought, if you're speaking housing as the Minister of Youth, your concern should have been to ensure that our young people can at a very young age be able to own a house. And this should have been your drive. So as the Minister of Youth, the expectation there and then when addressing the House of Parliament should be that you want to see more young people becoming homeowners. Because we have been drenched in Grenada for years as it relates to young people not being able to own houses or homes. And so you see, when they take 40, 50, sometimes retirement, and they're still paying mortgages. And that is because you got a loan so late in your life. And so what my thoughts were that the minister should have been more focused on is that, employing in the House of Parliament, that his government should have put something in there so that the young people, your young ladies now, some of them sits in the veranda. Some persons maybe getting a little pankwai to do hair and nails and so on. And you should have been able for the young people who are entrepreneurs, young people who are in farming or selling the little things by the side of the road, it should have been affordable to them also. But you see, then again, when you're so fixated, and as I always say, priority, what takes the first and foremost, the uttermost importance, is not that, because your intention there is to come and deface the first phase of the housing project. So your ministerial specification gone out the door, because you're coming there to address Prime Minister, opposition side in a stringent way, that your ministerial focus as it relates to youth and youth development gone out the door. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see sometimes when you're thinking, you have to think broad. You have to think broad. You have to think fast when it comes to what government intention really is. Now, let's take it to mean that our dear Minister of Implementation is doing all the painting. All the painting. And let's put it into perspective. What economic boost, what economic drive does that have? How does it help 2-3 months down the road? How does that help? We're not saying that it should not be done, because as per usual, we had Coca-Cola that used to do it. We know on White Gun, I think they were doing the one at Kira, Allen Francisco roundabout, the one at Sir Eric Machugeri roundabout. We know that it is something that has been done, something that is usually done. So there is no wow to what is being done, because we know that we had a private entity that sometimes takes it on their own as a public initiative to do it. But no, we see the minister is painting, and I'm wondering whether or not it is a government project, or whether or not this is volunteers. And I would forever say this. I think Brother Andy Mitchell understands what Grenadian politician requires. Because we know we like to see that man doing that, and we like to see our politicians. We like to see that. But at the end of the day, How does that represent good governance? If a country is looking on to amalgamate or integrate with our government, and we say, well, what have you implemented? What have you implemented? What's your role? What is it that you can say that you have implemented in Grenada? You will tell your neighboring government that you plant tree, and you see that is it. When others look on to Grenada, they don't see NMP or NDC, they see government. They see government of Grenada. That's what they see. So they don't see color or party. They see the government of Grenada. That is what is that is the politics you need to see. So you can't play politics and just secure your seat for next election. And then at the end of the day, the true politics that is being viewed out there is that, okay, you paint what? I mean, how does that boost your economy? How did that help in any way? Because that's the politics behind it, you know. That is the politics. But your intention is so focused on just being the politician that you don't understand the politics behind it. Remember, politician is a person, eh? Politician is a person. But politics happens in many other aspects, not just in the democratic way, but in jobs and in places and in the churches and in the schools. Right? So, the understanding of politics is what I believe has not resonated in Brother Williams' mind. And so, he believes that and he's asking you, he gone on Facebook, tell me where need fixing. Tell me, put a comment below where you need fixing. And so you see, this is happening. And you're seeing it, that the Prime Minister now, he himself is getting gravitated by that. Because let's think about it. Who other minister we don't see? Who else we don't see, Papa? Everybody else. Ministry of Invisibility. Everybody else, they the ministry they're in. Ministry of Invisibility. We can't see them at all. Invisible ministries. Housing, fisheries, education, wherever. Tooth bagay. We have to ask. I tell you, recently, somebody who does taxi would have asked me, who is the Minister of Tourism? They asked me a question. I don't know. Not too sure. So if you Google it, maybe Google might be able to help you. And then we have an issue in just about last week or so on. And then we had questions being posed to asking questions about the Minister of Health. I think I'm supposed to have a clipping on this somewhere. Supposed to have a clip. I want to believe, where did I see it? Where do I have this clip? Permit me a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if my fingers would fall on it. I don't think it is. It's there. Let me ensure that I get it, because the question was being asked as it relates to the Minister of Health. I think it's on my dear. I think it's my dear, a wonderful student that has it. Yeah, look at it here. She would have it. She would have it. She would, my dear student. Let me just play it for you guys.
The minister, he is responsible for policy lead. As in that regards, it's up to him under his purview if he will meet with the president or not. The minister, he is responsible for policy lead. As in that regards, it's up to him under his purview if he will meet with the president or not.
And we remember in recent weeks, we heard persons that are representing the union. They mentioned that they contacted the minister, and he said, contact the PS. And the PS said her hands are tied. See if I get a clip for all you too. tell all you I doesn't want to hide information from you guys. I want to give you guys information that are true and that are factual. Because I think I'm supposed to have the information here. See if my fingers are laid upon it. Where they were told I think I'm seeing it here. Yeah, so it was during the strike action, and the all right, so I'm not getting my hands on it. I do apologize about that. Yes, but we had information from Brother Grimes where he said he contacted the minister and he said, "Can't do nothing. Let me speak to the ministry, the permanent secretary." And I know you're hearing that it is up to the prime minister, the minister. So again, it goes on, ladies, to ask the question, like, do you all understand your role and function? Do you understand what is expected of you? And I always say, listen to me, I'm open to politics. I'm open to political conversations. We have the other side who would say the good of the path of the National Democratic Congress. When they do good, I say they do good. I'm not that privy to always come here and bash them. Their days are going to come and say, hey, not bad. Good judgment, good choice. Right? Good decision making. I'm not bashing, and I would never. And you know me on my statements, I relate to that. I would never bash government increasing person's salary. And so the minimum wage conversation is an excellent gesture by this administration. But in every pro, there are cons. In every advantage, there are disadvantages. And one of the major areas that we need to look at as it relates to minimum wages is unemployment. So an individual would, as intelligently said to me by an individual would pay a house cleaner to come and clean by him every 6 days. Every 6 days, though. And wash for him. At this stage now, where these things go up, you may just buy a washing machine. Say, listen to me, when I come home on the weekend, I go wash my clothes for myself. He may hire maybe 2 days to maybe do a little ironing. So it has its pros and its cons, ladies and gentlemen. It does have its pros and its cons. And so these are the things that we really need to look at, right? We need to pay attention to those things, right? Ladies and gentlemen. So we want to ensure that in going forward, we understand now. I guess today we'll have understand really and truly what it is that happens within the Ministry of the housing ministry. The housing ministry is not really, the second phase is not for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the second phase is not for that. All right, so it was a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to have been here for another wonderful, wonderful day, right? I want to remind you guys of a few events that are coming up, or a few places in which you can go and enjoy your delight. I want to say good evening to the persons out there in Carriacou, and continue to be at Mr. Grill's International. They specialize in outdoor catering, private function, pool parties, etc. You can check him out on Instagram on Mr. Grill International, or you can email him on mrgrill12341 at outlook.com. All right. You can call him on 410-7530. All right. You have ribs and wings and much more. You have culinary nights. So go be a part of this one. The Carriacou and PD Martinique New York chapter of the New National Party, they present Fish Fry Their menus are only $25. Fried fish, all right, chicken, pork, goat, cuckoo, chow mein, rice and peas, salad, and much more. This would be held on Saturday, November 18th from 12 p.m. until music by DJ Gemini. You can call Nisha on 347-683-1997 or just center on 917-615-4918 or Wilson on 917-754-1319. The event would be at 302 East 91 First Brooklyn at New York between Lenox and Claxon. All right. And then we have this one coming out there in New York.
In New York, get ready as New Face, Maggi and Hall presents Bottle and Buckets. Going down on Saturday, November 11th at 409 Maple Street, Brooklyn, New York. Featuring DJ Magician, DJ Synergy, Naughty Vibes, and DJ Silence. You must be 21 and over. Drunk is the code. Bottle packages available. For more info, contact 347-304-5453. Bottle and Buckets. I don't care what time of day it is. I drink it. BAB. Get your advance $30 tickets now, or you pay more. Bottle and Buckets. Saturday, November 11th. Be there.
Right. So the persons out there in the diaspora, you have two big events coming up. Don't forget G-Burgers. They're located on Wall Street in St. George's. Don't forget to get your burgers. They give you specials and special prizes. You can call them on 536-7375. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So it was another wonderful, wonderful day in the manner in which we want to have the conversation that we wanted to. All right. Somebody's asking if class is done already. Come on, Andrea, you? And you know class is from 6 to 7? All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it was another wonderful, wonderful day. God's blessings to each and every one of you. May God be with each and every one of you. We will be on again tomorrow, God's willing. So come out and just be a part of the classroom. Continue to tag persons. Let them know that we're always on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. All right. So this is yours truly, Royalty James, signing out for another wonderful, wonderful evening. God's blessings to the persons over on my YouTube page. I love you guys. Go have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening. All right.
North stand. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't come to me now. I don't want to hear nothing. All you go so and leave me alone, man. I don't want to hear all you. Boy, Lily, I don't want. For the year 2001, should I compose a nation-building song or just place them politicians? But when I hear Pan, they get 19 seats and he run and give a speech of victory, I tell myself something wrong, so I compose this song for kinky-head people like me, because I don't understand what's really happening. For years, me Crooks and Panther was busting, we live a string. When I honestly believe the message was loud and clear, but the results from the elections proved to me stick breaking black man air. We don't hear, so don't expect me to jam your prime minister. No, don't tell me I stopped drinking bush tea for your fever. Cause you hate do it once, but you did it twice. Elections fun is you choose Barabbas in front of Christ. So if you notice your little daughter bringing home a grand, me in the road to complain, cause I have nothing to say. My personal comments I will reserve.
You get a government you deserve.
So complain to me now, boy, you got some nerve. You get a government you deserve. Ding the day. See that line that ding day. Best to put sense in black man head. The consequence I was not afraid. But when I see Keith and Daphne on TV, deep in my heart I felt betrayed. Cause I remember in 1998 I got chastised when I sing this song. But if I did like game, I would have take out she name and deceitfully win me crown. UNC corrupt like hell, but Sat Maharaj wouldn't say so. Black man open me mouth, he find that man in should go. To these negative response from the black man, I'm not surprised, because I've come to one conclusion: to the black man is his own demise. He ain't wise, so don't tell me nothing about the EBC.
Don't tell me,
because I sure some of you vote for UNC.
I said no. Don't tell me.
Don't tell me that they cancel the URP and that you can't get work to maintain your family. So if you end up just as a criminal on the run, because all the promises that they made, they ain't keeping none. And civil servants can't get it back pay, plus yourself can't get a 10 days. Please don't stop me in the road to complain, cause I wouldn't be amazed. My little knowledge now I must preserve.
You get a government you deserve.
To resort to protest now, you got some nerve. You get a government you deserve. Ding ding ding. Ding 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 ding. And you got to live with it for the next 5 years. It's from the public I get my lyrics. You just give me inspiration. You just give me the strength and courage to slaughter them politicians. But when I see you supporting Pandey and condoning all that is wrong, it's like giving me bread and a full glass of milk, then you turn wrong and kick it down. And they call businessmen parasitic oligarchies. But today just wanna and do crazy good buddies. What excuse you could have to put him back in power? If you ask Errol McLeod, he'll tell you that man was done a fuck-down cobra. Yes, sir. So don't tell me Caroni going through hell.
No, don't tell me.
I hear what the man can drink, he planning to sell.
I said no, don't tell me.
Don't tell me nothing about the Incogen deal and how they never give a count for the shipload of rice they steal. But if you notice, Carlos have a brand new Beamer, and he delayed the process till he turn a minister. And you hear he get millions in cutbacks from the Miss Universe show as a gift. Please don't stop me and ask me to confirm, because I plead in the fifth. My little kakada I'll try to reserve.
You get a government you deserve.
Ask man in how much money he left reserve. You get a government you deserve. Ding the ding. Ding 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 ding. I feel sorry for loyal citizens who get caught up in the lacquer. But a fish always rotten from the head. Is Robbie and Pam put him there. Now Pandey get the taste of power. He feel that he's indispensable. Since I sing about the wife, he hate me for life, so they introduced clause 7. I didn't believe Kaisonians could be bought easily. I would like to know what's the price they pay for Gypsy. In my humble opinion, his actions was rather slack. I hope he don't say he bad lucky. If Ganga Singh drop some pipe on his back, don't a track. So don't tell me about going back to school and learn.
Don't tell me.
When my future was never your concern.
Don't tell me.
Don't tell me nothing about being black conscious. When your behavior proves to me you're worse than Judas. But if the PNM end up winning the court session, and you land in jail for signing false declaration, and in the night a big strong prisoner making sure he enjoy your stay. Don't bother to write me and tell me that. Try and contact Pandey, cause the motto now in jail is protect and serve.
You get a government to deserve.
So tell me you get raped or you got some nerve. You get a government
To deserve.